Do you remember when you stood at the altar and you had butterflies when you first met him? You couldn't wait to speak with him or her, and there were butterflies in your stomach, but now you can't find the butterflies, you can't find the love, and you don't know what happened to the romance. Well, this is the show for you. Tune in, and here we go. Good evening, everyone.
Good Sunday afternoon. Good evening, everyone.
So glad to see everybody here today joining us on Love Still Matters after the vows. And so we are going to get right on into our subject because last week we ran over by like 10 minutes. The discussion was really good. And again, I'm going to apologize for the quality of internet. I'm not sure what is going on with our internet today. It says internet a little bit unstable, but nevertheless, we are still getting ready to go into our discussion. So I'm going to turn it over to the Mister today because he's the one who planned this week's discussion. So I'm Stacy.
And I'm Ray.
And we are the Lovebirds.
And we're glad to have you with us this evening. Yes, I'm hijacking the program tonight.
Have yourself.
Because somebody always wants to be the writer, the director, and the producer. And so now it's my turn to sit in the seat. So we're going to talk about a subject tonight.
It's blurry and cutting in and out.
We're going to speak about a subject tonight of one of the most used words in the English language. This word has wars to be fought. This word has caused lives to be lost. And a gazillion songs have been written concerning this word. Do you think you know what it is? It's only 4 little letters. That word is love. Yes, that word is love. And tonight we want to talk about love. We've been talking about communication over the past weeks, but I think we need to go back to the basics. I'm a firm believer in going back to the basics. There's an old saying that I believe in and I use a lot in my ministry that says, you don't know where you're going if you don't know where you've been. And sometimes you have to go back to where you've been to see where you're going. And so tonight we're going to talk about this thing. Tina Turner said, what's love got to do with it? Well, love has everything to do with it. Because without love, you really have no reason to exist. All right, so we're going to talk about love tonight. And I want to hear your comments. What you might think love is. You could type them into the chat and we'll deal with them as they come. Let me start with what Brother Webster says.
This says bring you back to where you started. Okay.
The Brother Webster from the Webster's Dictionary says, love, an intense, affectionate concern for another person. Intense, super strong, affection for another person. Another definition Brother Webster writes is a strong fondness or enthusiasm for something or a person. Now, both of these worldly definitions can be correct. Because when we say to our significant other, I love you, we're communicating that we have a deep and affectionate concern for them as a person. Okay. Now, I said this word love is one of the most used words in the English language. People will drop it just to sometimes get what they want from you. I'm being honest.
Don't throw shade. If you're talking about me, just say so. Okay.
Why everything got to be about you?
I'm just saying.
This ain't about you.
Okay, because when I say I love you, you always be like, what you want?
I'm talking about love.
Okay, all right.
I'm talking about LOVE, love.
Okay.
I ain't talking about you. I know you love me.
Okay.
Love is an action. It is not just words spoken. Sister Corita is saying this. You can say I love you, but your actions speak volumes when it comes to this word, love. Yes, love is an action word. And believe it or not, it's easy to say. But if you're not demonstrating that love, then it's nothing but a hollow word. If I say I love you, but I don't call you to see about how you're doing or to spend time with you, to let you know that I'm concerned about how you are and just to see you physically. And I don't mean to knock the boots, but just to see you physically, to see that you're okay and that you still look good and that you still got that fine brown frame. Then that's action. But a lot of times we find people tell us, I love you, just to get what they want from us. And once we give them what they want, the action stops. So, as Sister Corita has so eloquently put it, love is an action. You have to put your love into action. You have often heard me say on this program, whatever it took for you to get that significant other, it's going to take the same thing to keep them. Because that's the thing that attracted them to you. That laugh, that your joking manner, your smile, the way that you were so kind or so willing to be listening, give them that listening ear. Those little actions that you did to gain their trust and their love is the thing that they're looking to still see when they look at you across the table or when they roll over and see you in the bed next to them. They want to be able to see those same actions. You want to add something with that, my lovely?
Now you want to include me. Okay.
I always want to include you.
All right. I'm just saying. So Samantha said unconditional love. She wants unconditional love. Is there a such thing as unconditional love? Because I find that love has conditions. Right? I find that love have conditions on it. People say that they love you unconditionally, but when you don't conform to their ways and you don't do what they want you to do it, or you don't do it how they ask you to do it, do they really love you? Will they still continue to love you? So that's my question. Is love really unconditional? Right? Because if I don't treat you with mutual respect, and you a person that thrives on respect, will you continue to love me? There's some conditions to people as to the way they love one another. If it was not so, we wouldn't have so many divorced couples. We wouldn't have so many divorced people. We wouldn't have such a high rate of separation. We would have such a high rate of infidelity. We would not have such a high rate. Right? People put conditions on love. And so, I mean, I don't mean to hijack you. I don't mean to hijack your show or whatever, but I found that people do put conditions on love. So for somebody to say that they absolutely love me unconditionally, right? The closest thing to somebody loving us unconditionally would be the Father, would be God, right? And then maybe somebody's mother, right? Because mothers endure a lot. They go through a lot. They put up with a lot, right? Not necessarily where other people will put up with some of your shenanigans, your foolishness, and some of the things that you bring to the table.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Let me add this into this equation as well. That's a beautiful term, unconditional love. But as my lovely wife has said, there's conditions to everything. And let's make this perfectly clear. In the relationship, I'm gonna say it, in the relationship game, because that's what it is. It's a game. When two people are trying to come together, especially if you're not living together. And I'm going to deal with that in a little bit. Even living together is a whole different dynamic. But even when you're just dating one another, whenever he calls you or you call him, y'all both got to get ready. You ain't showing up looking like you just been in the house all day cleaning. You ain't got your hair nothing fixed. You ain't just going to run out and meet him like that. You're going to fix yourself up and make yourself the most presentable for him. And he's going to do the same for you. He's going to present the most presentable side to you. So you're getting a picture of something that's not real. It's like a car sitting on the lot at the dealership. You don't know if it's any good till you get in there and test drive it. It looks beautiful. Upholstery is nice and clean. It's got the kind of seats you want. It's got the look you want. But does it really work? Is it worth anything? And we don't know this until we do one or two things. Test drive it for a while or take it with us.
That's good.
So you have to understand, when we start looking at things for unconditional love, I have to agree with what my wife said. The only person I know that has unconditional love is God. And the reason why I say that is because God knows everything about us. The good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent. He knows it. You ain't hiding. You can hide stuff from your significant other. But you can't hide nothing from God. God knows everything about us. So he accepts us, even with our imperfections. Even in the things we don't know about the other person. Now, let me talk about living together. Even if you move in and be with somebody, you start finding out stuff about them that you never thought you would know.
Right. Here comes the test.
Thank you. Here it comes. Because this is what happens when you're living together. You'll both start to get comfortable in the presence of each other. I might have been a slob when I was in my own place. And the reason why you never seen me as a slob in my own place is because I would always clean up before you come to my house or my apartment, and vice versa. But now that we're living in the same space and we're comfortable being in each other's presence 24/7, you start seeing a slob in me. I'm leaving my clothes on the floor in the bathroom. I'm leaving them unfolded on the bed. I don't make up the bed in the morning. And these are, if you're a tidy and neat person, these are things that's going to start bothering you.
Or somebody leaving the toilet seat up, or leaving the toilet seat wet, not wiping it off, right? After they've gone to the bathroom. I mean, it's small things. I mean, I'm not saying, that it's a lot of big things, but it's the small things that begin to get underneath your skin when two people come together to live together.
Because,
right? You have expectations.
You do. You have expectations. And you have been in your space alone by yourself. You are the king or the queen of your castle. But now that you have taken on a consort, so to speak, as they call it in England, a consort, a partner, you got to share your castle with your partner. And your partner may not be as royal as you are. And now issues come up. So, yes, that's a nice concept, Sister Samantha. But it's not a reality. Because a lot of us have flaws and imperfections. And we don't know these flaws and imperfections until we have spent some time together in the presence of one another. I'm going to say this again. And I hate to use the term the game, but that's what it is. You hear the brothers on the corner say, I ain't new to the game. I know the game. In other words, I've played this before. I've been through this before. We have all been in the marriage, but not in the marriage, but in the relationship game. Some of us have been really, really hurt in the relationship game. Some of us have been the one who has preyed on other people in the game and used them for our advantage. Not because I really love you, not because I care for you, but because I'm trying to get something for me. I'm in this for me. I'm in it for me. I ain't in it for you. I'm in it for me. The byproduct of me being in it is that I'm with you. I'm the prize. See, you don't understand that. I'm the prize. You ain't the prize. I'm the prize. But I'm gonna make you think you the prize. Somebody ought to help me up in here.
Well, I'm looking at some of the comments, and one of the sisters wrote using your own toothbrush or tooth. But listen, these things that y'all joking, right? But these things are game changers. These are the things that I'm talking about, right? Unconditional love. But let somebody with OCD come and use my toothbrush, or I use their toothbrush. Now we ready to walk away. We don't remember the love, right? We don't remember the vows. Right? We don't remember when we were so in love, we couldn't wait to get that phone call, you know, that message from our beeper. That's going way back, right? That text on our cell phone, right? That's going back. That DM. You remember when you used to drop in the DM, but then when you get married, things begin to change. Where is the love?
Well, let's not even get to the marriage thing yet.
Well, I'm just talking about marriage because you're talking about love. And somebody mentioned, I'm still stuck on, you know me, I get stuck. And they're talking about the unconditional love. I'm just talking about the conditions that people.
But even relationships.
Okay.
There's conditions. We just don't voice them as much as we do in the marriage. Okay? Because here's the mindset. Here's the mindset. If I'm in a relationship, I can opt out at any time. It's a contract. It's a mental contract for most men. I'm gonna speak for most men. I can't speak for the women. It's a mental contract. And if I'm dating you, I'm in a relationship with you, I can opt out of this anytime I want to. There's nothing binding me to this relationship. Now, marriage throws a whole different spin on this. And we're going to talk about that later because that's too deep. I can't get into that right now. But I'm just trying to deal from the basic point of relationship. Because in the relationship, we don't think about it, especially women. Women are emotionally, they emotionally invested. Seriously, more so than a man is. I'm just being honest.
From the first, I love you, right? I love you.
Listen. No, it ain't even got from the first. I love you. From the first, excuse me. I just saw you from across the room, and I just had to know your name. And don't be a good-looking brother. Don't be a brother that can. What do they say? Dripping.
Yes, dripping.
You dripping. Don't and ooh. You don't sold a bill of goods already. All you gotta do is say, "Yeah, sign a contract. Yeah, I got you." Listen. I'm an OG. I'm an old head. I've been around the block a few times. I know the game. And this lady here will tell you, in our counseling, I don't pull no punches with the ladies. I tell them straight up. I don't pull no punches because I don't want you to have your emotions broken and shattered because the next somebody, if there is a next somebody, just might be the very person the Creator has for you. But because what you saw influenced you, and that's what listen, let's all be honest, we're visual people. We work with our senses. That's why we can't see nothing spiritual. That's why we ain't coming from a spiritual vein right now. We work with the senses. See, touch, smell, and feel. He look good. She look good. Look at her hair. She got her hair laid. Look at them nails. She got her nails done. Hair did, nails did, everything did. You fancy, huh? Yeah. Y'all know how it be. Same thing with a guy. Oh, he got it all together. Brother got it together. And girl, He even got his own car. Woo! Y'all ain't even got to ride the bus together. You don't know how romantic riding the bus could be, but some of y'all too cute for that. But I'm gonna leave that alone. Go ahead, honey.
Listen, I'm trying to gather myself together. Listen. He don't normally talk this much, right? To our viewers, he don't normally talk this much, but when he get on the roll, he begins to tell the truth. Amen. He tells the truth, right? And he keeps it real, and that's what is needed, right? And so when we originally started this, it was married couples, but they were getting messages from single people, and so you know what? My mind's like, listen, single people are looking to get married. There's married people who are looking, to stay together or rekindle their love or, rejuvenate their relationship. So we are incorporating everyone. We're incorporating everyone into this show. And so, I see people, I'm reading the comments, about the men, about the women. I could tell there's some singles on here, but listen, some of y'all comments that's single. Listen, I'm gonna just go back to one of these comments that said I'm gonna get a duplex. They're gonna have one side, and I'm gonna live on the other side. Yeah, I'm going to get a duplex. Him and the kids have one end, and I'm gonna be on the other part. Listen, Woo. Right? Listen, this is the stuff, right, that keeps us separated. Right. I know she's joking. I love her dearly. That's my girl. I love her dearly. I know she's joking. But these are the things that that really keeps us separated. We're trying to grow closer together. And I'm really just stuck on this unconditional love that my friend Samantha put out there. Thank you so much, Samantha, for joining us. I see all of my wonderful friends. I just want to take a moment. Monica from Virginia. I see Pastor Tim, my girl Michelle. I see Alana. I see Missionary Addison. I see everybody on here. I even seen Dr. Hill. Wow, Dr. Hill. And so, I am just really trying to help somebody in our journey, right? In our journey of love, because we've been together and we are by no means no experts at all. We are not any expert. We just get on to share our experience and to share what we have been through and try to help people because of the things that we've seen, the things that we've heard, and the things that we have experienced, right? And so, like I talked about last week, with COVID, when COVID came on the scene, it did some damage to some of the marriages, right? Because people are not used to being together 24 hours a day, and they're married, right? They're married, but they're not used to being in close quarters for long periods of time. Why? Because you work, right? Why? Because you work. Yes, my mom is there. I see my mom. I see her. Yes, Mother Harris. Thank you for joining. And so you work. And so you're not used to being together for long periods of time. And because the world was shut down, you couldn't go anywhere. Right? Only place you could really go was outside to your front door to take one of those pictures with your family outside, but you couldn't go anywhere. You could go for a walk, but you really couldn't go to the store because the stores weren't open for long periods of time. And so therefore, the two of you were getting to know the real you after many years, sometimes short periods of time, and sometimes for long periods of time. People were getting to know one another. And guess what? People did not like the person that they were trapped with.
They had what they call, in the psychological terms, cabin fever. Being locked in for too long with a person. Because now all the little things start coming out. Number one, because you are frustrated. You're feeling angst about the stuff you can't do and get accomplished. You home with the brats now not the brats, but you home now with the kids. When the kids used to be away at school and you was away at the office and you was away on your other job. Now everybody's together. You ever try to handle business on Zoom and your kids is up and running around?
Right.
The dog barking, the kids in the way, the kids trying to get your attention, mommy, 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 daddy, daddy, and you trying to talk to your coworkers.
Or your husband singing as loud as could be in the background while you trying to conduct business. Listen, it was rough. We went through it too. I'm not talking about anything that I don't know. Listen, one day I was on a business meeting, and I usually would have to tell my husband, honey, I have a meeting, right? Just to give him forewarning. Well, this particular day was an emergency meeting. And so he just thought I was at my office in the house, just in there, and he is singing so loud. I mean, he's singing, the people looking. I'm trying to put it on mute and try to get his attention, but these are the things that really stressed people out. I thought it was cute. My friend thought it was cute too. I thought it was cute, but these are the things that drove people further apart, right? And so we talk about love still matters after the vows, right? Because again, my mother always says, you sow in love the first 6 months, right? And the next 6 months, right? You sow in love the first 6 months that you could eat them up, right? The next 6 months, you wish you had eaten them up. That's what happens over time in marriage, right? But where does the marriage fall short? Where does the relationship begin to break down? What happens to people in marriage where they have lost the love, right? Because in my little take as coming in, right, you had all of those butterflies. You were so in love. I couldn't wait to hear from him. I couldn't wait for him to call me, drop flowers off on my job, leave a note on my car, send me a message, and all of those good things, right? At the altar, we gaze into each other's eyes. We so in love and all of this stuff.
Nah, you couldn't wait.
But what? I couldn't wait.
No, I'm saying they can't.
Okay.
People, right. No, you're talking about marriage. People can't wait. Seriously. You so wrapped up in him. He's so wrapped up in you. They're going, man, I'm getting married. We gonna have this boss wedding and da-da-da-da. You don't invite a lottie-dottie and everybody to the wedding. Y'all don't spend humongous amounts of money on tuxes and gowns and limos and food and DJs, because you want to celebrate this beautiful love union. But then when it starts to break down, like every beautiful thing has a tendency to break down. Yes, you might live in a mansion, but your mansion needs to be repaired after a while. You might have a Bentley or Maybach, but even they eventually break down and need to be serviced. Marriages, when they break down, you can't just say, I'm gonna get a new marriage now. And that's what some people do. I'm gonna just get rid of you and get somebody else now. But until you stop and figure out what went wrong, and the reason why I say that is because all you're doing is taking your baggage, your messed up baggage, into a new car now, into a new mansion now. And you're gonna run into the same old problem because you ain't fixed nothing.
Right. And Samantha made a good point in the comments. You have to remember why. And people don't remember why they first got married. My husband and I ask in marriage enrichment or marriage counseling, right? We ask, why do you want to get married? And the number one response is,
because I love her. I love him. And do you know what my response is? You love him now, so why you want to get married? What you think marriage is supposed to do for you? You loving him now, without the marriage. So what's that supposed to do for you?
The people don't understand the real definition, right, of love. The real definition of love, right? And so I believe he had read first. Did you read that?
No, I didn't read that.
And
I read from Webster, what Brother Webster said, the worldly definition. But the spiritual thing of love, which is found in the word for those of you that are spiritual, is found in 1 Corinthians 13:1. And this is the guidelines that the Creator has laid down for love. He says love is patient. Love is patient, which means you need to take the time to listen and talk to one another, hear one another out. Love is kind. You can't always be angry. Yeah, I know we have our days. We all have our days.
I'm blocking Michelle.
But you can't always be angry. It says love does not boast. Well, what are you saying? Oh, I do this for you. I fix your food. I iron your clothes, and you don't do nothing for me. That's boasting. You do it because it's an action, as Sister Corita said. I want to show you that I love you. So yeah, I'm gonna iron your nasty drawers. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna iron your shirts because I do love you, and I'm showing you my action. That's not boasting. I'm showing you the action of my love. Love is not self-seeking. It ain't always about you, boo. Yeah, we love you, but it ain't always about you. You got to understand there's two of us in this thing, and we both have an equal part in it. Love is not easily angered, okay? Yes, like I said, y'all going to have days where y'all going to have disagreements, and y'all ain't going to like each other. But there's one standing rule. This lady and I always impart to couples in our marriage counseling. You never go to bed angry. You never go to bed angry. For those of you that are single, when you and your significant other have a falling out and y'all saying good night, don't go angry before you hang up that phone, before you say good night in the car, whatever. Let them know, I still love you. I still love you. And when we y'all think when you do that, I'm copping out to that individual. No, you're not. You're just letting them know that the love hasn't changed. I just don't agree with what we just talked about. And we're gonna revisit this again without a doubt. We're gonna revisit, but I want you to know for now, I still love you.
Right. We can agree to disagree.
Right. Because you never know what's gonna happen in the stillness of the night.
Right.
And you don't want that on your conscience to get that message that person is gone. And you and them on argued and fussed, and you didn't get a chance to tell them, I still love you. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna turn it back over to this beautiful lady. When they lay in there in that box, and I've done a lot of funerals in my years as a minister. I don't care what you lean in there and say. They can't hear you. They can't hear you. All the crying, all the whispering, oh, I'm loving you, I'm so sorry. That they ain't hearing that because they're not there. The word of God says the dead know nothing. So to save yourself out of heartache and sorrow, need to let them know that I still love you in spite of what we might go through. Lastly, here's the important thing. Love keeps no record of wrongs. The worst thing in relationships we find is that tit for tat. But you did this. And if you hadn't done that, I wouldn't do this. Yeah, but if you didn't do that, I wouldn't be the way I am because you do this. You can't keep an account of wrongs. None of us are perfect. There is none so righteous, no, not one. We have all fallen short.
Every day, amen.
He ain't perfect, and you ain't perfect.
That's right.
You might look perfect.
That's right.
But you ain't perfect, baby. And he ain't either. So understand, we all have our faults. We all have our shortcomings. But you can't keep an account of who's right and who's wrong. Love. The word says this. You could have everything in the world, but if you don't have love, you don't have nothing. The greatest of these, he says in his word, for those of you who are believers, the greatest of these things, he said, is love. Because he tells us, have love one for another.
Good comment here. So Jamar said it's most like lust.
Mm.
That is why we see temporary relationships.
Wow.
It does not last. We may have to see people I agree with you. I'm glad that you brought that up. I'm glad that you brought that up because this is why people should go and seek some type of marriage counseling before getting married, right? Before getting married. Listen, there's times where we do our marriage counseling so mad. I'm telling you, they're so mad, but we got to try to bring them back together, bring it back in because we begin to ask questions that they have really. And when you get married, you are going to go through. You're gonna go these struggles, right? We're gonna go through these struggles. Again, I apologize for the service breaking up and back in. I'm not sure what's going on. We're gonna try to call Cox Communication again, but my producer is saying I can't hear. So I'm just gonna say that you should try to seek some type of marriage counseling, therapy, enrichment, or something before you take your vows. Before you take your vows, you know, because it can help you. It can help you. It really can help you. It can't hurt you or harm you. But like the brother said here, what we see today, and this is why we have such a high rate of divorce, because people do not go in with the mindset that I am going to be faithful unto death. We get up there and we make this covenant, and it's because we're so in love right now. But listen, marriage isn't the wedding. Right? Marriage isn't the wedding. Marriage is the long haul after the wedding. After the wedding.
It's the longevity of you and him together.
Right.
It's your legacy of you and that person after all the glitz and glamour is gone.
Right. And so we are running past our time. It's like 9:08. This is really good. We will pick this up next week. I want to say on Mother's Day, right? Mother's Day is a couple of weeks away. On Mother's Day, I'm gonna be bringing on my mom, a woman of wisdom, a woman of knowledge. She was married for over 40 plus, almost 50 years before my dad passed away. So I'm going to bring on my mom to come on and drop some wisdom, some jewels, because she is the woman who taught me everything that I know. And my mom always said to me, if you're going to do something, make sure you do it to the best of your ability, right? And my mother always told me that marriage was not a joke. Right. And so she lived by every single word that she's spoken to us and showed us. Right. Because love is an action word. I'm the type of person, I watch your actions. Right? So she was the most phenomenal wife. I've seen my mom go through many struggles. My dad was probably sick for the last probably maybe 15 years of their marriage before he passed away. But never once did I see, right? Never once did I see her become angry. Never once did I see her want to throw in the towel. She made it look so easy, right? She made it look so easy. And so now here I am, that wife, right? That's helping through his little minor setback. I call it a minor setback because his healing is already manifesting, is taking place right now. She made it look so easy that I was like, oh my God, is this really what she experienced? Right? We talk about love. We talk about the vows, but do we really, really live them? Right? We definitely will stay together for richer and poorer, right? But when it gets to that sickness and health that tests your marriage, will you still remain faithful? Right? Will you still remain faithful? So I just want to say thank you so much.
Appreciate you. God
for
bless
joining
you.
us on tonight. Again, I apologize for the internet inconsistencies and being unstable. Again, we have Cox Communication, and I don't know what's going on, but we are definitely going to work on this because we want to give you the best quality of what we are bringing to help some people. Yes, it's human, but some of this stuff is legit, true stuff that can save your marriage. right? That can save your marriage. We're going to talk about this more on next week. And so before I go, I just pray that, Father, that you would bless the couples that are on here tonight, Father, that have joined tonight, oh God, on our live broadcast on tonight. I pray in their marriage. I pray, Father, that you would help them to rekindle the love that they once had and the love established for them. I thank you for what you are doing in these marriages. I thank you for every couple that is willing to rededicate their love they have joined together, that the two shall become one. Father, I pray right now that every obstacle that they have come against, that they will continue to grow together and not let any obstacle separate what you have joined together. I thank you. And I thank you all for joining, and remember, when we close, that the vows matter. It's not the love that keeps us together. In every marriage, love may fade for a time. Vows matter because when the feelings fade, the vows hold us together long enough for the love to return. Check us out next week. Tell a friend, tell a neighbor. Tune in next week, next Sunday, Eastern Standard Time at 8:30. We would love to see you. Be blessed
and be safe. God bless you.
Good night.